Good morning. My name is Jeremy Tarbush. I want to make a commentary video on a video that Paul Vanderklay made today. Today's March 15th. The Paul Vanderklay video in question is called Does Jordan Peterson Have a Plan? Now, I'm a big fan of Jordan, and like his books, his podcasts, anything really he's done. But I feel that, like, after reading this book, Beyond Order, that it's backwards. I can't do anything about that. Anyway, I feel like reading this book that there's a couple of rules that Jordan Peterson has violated in his criticism of the social world, the culture at large, whatever you want to call it, and biting off more than he can chew in terms of things. So I'm agreeing with Paul Vanderklay. I want to make that clear. The first rule that he violated is Rule 1. Do not carelessly denigrate social institutions or creative achievement. Now, no matter what we think of other economic systems like Marxism, I think they're very ambitious, but probably never get to where they need to be because of people. It's like trying to build a perfect world. Anybody tries to build a utopia ends up with mass problems. And the next rule that I feel that he violated, I bookmarked. Jordan Peterson had plans for, as Paul Vanderklay said, a university. He had plans to kind of overdo Patreon with, his work on his Patreon monies, which were large enough to rent a theater in Toronto. But the next thing was Rule 7, work as hard as you possibly can on at least one thing and see what happens. Now, I think that the spirit of that may have been followed by Jordan Peterson because he's working on at least one thing, but the actual workings were violated because he worked on so many things that he ends up basically depressing himself. And that led to the benzo use, which, I've had bad experiences with similar medications in the past, causing me to clean the house nearly constantly for about 7 days. I hadn't been since I met my wife, which my wife is quite upset about. She wishes I'd clean the house for 7 days now. Next thing is the first rule. Communism is vile, but it is a social institution that and a cultural achievement that I feel that he's denigrated a little bit too heavily. Everybody can, on the right can criticize communism. Everybody on the left can criticize, say, capitalism. Where's the solutions? So I think it's pretty careless. I would like to see Jordan Peterson get back to making videos on, say, the Book of Genesis, Book of Exodus, keep going wherever, maybe even a Book of John one day. But I'd love to see him hit Isaiah, but I think everybody's like, Isaiah's the elephant in the room, except for maybe Abraham Gilead. I'm going to do a commentary on some of that stuff later on because he was, I assume, Latter-day Saint writer that does a lot on the book of Isaiah. Anyway, if you can't propose a solution, be careful what you're criticizing. I think is the spirit of actually the first rule. And I think Jordan Peterson was happy to criticize the lack of free speech in the world and socialism. But for speakers on the moderate left and far, especially the right, not the far right, but it's very easy to speak against communism. There's just the Russians and the Chinese have given us so much ammunition. And I want to do a little background on me just because I didn't do it at the beginning of the video. I feel like I should be doing a Paul Vanderklay style spiel at the beginning of my first 15 videos and then just drop down to, hi, this is Jeremy. It is what it is. But I got married the first time when I was 17. Had kind of an idyllic life at my grandparents' house, where me and my mother and my brothers and sisters lived. My childhood was absolutely great, except for my dad, who was quite abusive. Um, got married at 17, had a son 2 years later. I'm 38 now, if that gives any context. So my son's 19 now, lives in Georgia with his mother and grandfather. And I live in Tucson, Arizona. I work as a site director for a university at the state prison here in Tucson. I like watching YouTube videos, listening to podcasts, mostly Tim Ferriss and Jocko Willink. Out of YouTube videos, mostly Paul Vanderklay stuff. I've watched every Paul Vanderklay video except for the Freddie and Paul show and maybe 2 conversations because it pained me to watch the particular rando. But I was diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia after getting out of the army. I was in Iraq. There's some questions whether schizophrenia was the correct diagnosis or if it was just a more extreme form of PTSD, but I haven't been tested to confirm that, so I'll leave that on the table. I live here with my wife, second wife now, who I've been with since 2009. We married 4 days after we met, so it was kind of a whirlwind romance. We've been together 12 years now. Had a vow renewal 2 years ago because we got married in the courthouse. So the vow renewal was in a church, which we're quite happy with, but since COVID, I haven't been to church. I have to wear a mask all day at work. I'm not going to spend my weekend sitting in a room in a mask, even to have community. That's about all I have to say right now. If you like my video, just let me know so that in the comment section so that I can maybe make more. If you don't like it, let me know too. Opinions are cheap. All right, thank you, and have a blessed day.